Let's talk about this guy. The guy's name is Harold Peanut. Let's just call him Peanut. He's around 50 years old when the story starts. He lives in Indiana. A hard-working man, decent and liked by almost everyone. Well, Mr. Peanut has a problem, and the problem is he's sick. Not just, I think I have the flu sick, but weird, unexplained symptoms. He'd be fine one day, and the next, he is complaining of numbness in his face, stomach pains, and vomiting. He went to the doctor, and since he was 52, they were looking at the usual suspects, heart issues, maybe a bug. They find nothing. Every time he came back from the hospital, he'd look at his family and say, "The doctor told me that there's nothing wrong with me." So let's get to know his family. This is his wife, Marsha Allen. We call her Marsha. And this is Peanut's stepdaughter, who we'll call Ashley. It seems like a pretty happy family, right? But beneath the surface, something much darker is going on. These two, mother and stepdaughter, have been poisoning Peanut the entire time. And they're doing it in such a careful, calculated way, leaving behind no trace. And why they are doing this? Because Peanut has got some properties. In 2022, the mother and daughter started going online, doing research on how to poison someone without leaving a trace. They even went on Amazon, browsing different substances, and kept digging through other websites for more information. Through their research, they initially thought that foxglove, it's a beautiful but highly poisonous flower, might be the perfect option, one that wouldn't leave a trace. Just think about that for a moment. You're committed to kill your stepfather with your own mother, while he's sitting in the next room, watching TV like nothing's wrong. And if it isn't already insane, oh, trust me, it gets even worse. When they saw that the weaker substances weren't enough they turned to something even more lethal, something known as the suicide tree. And honestly, it's heartbreaking. Because when you step back and look at it, this man wasn't just being poisoned, he was being tortured by the very people he trusted most. After more than a year of slowly poisoning Peanut, they had enough. Eventually, they decided to escalate to something far more deadly. Ashley's mother called her and asked, how much would it cost to close the deal and remove Peanut completely? Ashley answered, $31.99. A human life reduced to a number that's small, wild. One night, the three of them are sitting at home watching TV together. Marsha goes to the kitchen to prepare soda and ice cream for Peanut. Allegedly, she puts poison into it, then brings it to him and gives it to Peanut. He drinks it all. And of course, a few hours later, he's gone. He passes away. They sit there for about 5 hours, watching him suffer and die. After that, they finally decide to call 911, claiming he had some heart issues, trying to make it look like heart failure. And the crazy part is, the autopsy report recorded the cause of death as heart failure, not poisoning. They just pulled off the perfect crime. And allegedly, they went on to inherit all of Peanut's properties and then simply continued their lives as normal. But here's the thing about perfect crimes. They usually get ruined by people being incredibly stupid. It's September 2023 now, and Harold has been gone for a while. Marsha is still living in the house, but suddenly the place gets burglarized when she's out, doing something. And when she comes back home, she suddenly calls the cops, and you will not believe this. She's actually the one who gives them the lead to Peanut's death by telling them she recognized one of the burglars on her security camera. And the guy's name is Steve, who just happens to be a friend of her daughter Ashley. And Ashley had already told Steve a while ago that her mom killed his stepfather by poisoning him. Why would Ashley like to get her mom's place burglarized? Because they argued? I don't know what exactly the reason is, but I suppose it's about which one of us is more evil. So Steve gets arrested and I don't have a mugshot. But here is a picture of him with a police officer saying, "Look, I didn't just rob the place, Ashley told me to do it." And then he drops the bombshell. He tells the police that Ashley had confessed to him that her mother, Marsha, had also poisoned his stepfather. The police are probably sitting there like, what the hell is going on? If you've just murdered your husband via poisoned dessert, You'd think you'd maybe, I don't know, delete the evidence. But this is not what Marsha does. She hands over the phone, and when the detectives look into it, they find thousands of text messages. It is all about the poison shopping, the complaints about how Peanut is not dying fast enough, and so she gets arrested. And I don't have a mugshot, but here's one of her pictures in real life. Soon after, she commits suicide while she waits for the trial. Meanwhile, Ashley gets arrested too, and surprise, surprise, I have her mugshot. Oh, she has not done playing supervillain yet. So allegedly, she decides to make a move and gives one of her cellmates a kill list. But here's the twist. This is not just a random list of people she doesn't like. It is actually a list of witnesses. People who knew too much about the murder and could easily blow the whole case wide open. But this cellmate does the right thing. Goes to the police, cooperates with them, and hands over the list to use against Ashley. But the whole thing finally comes to an end in 2025. Ashley realizes she is basically staring down the barrel of a life sentence with a mountain of text messages and evidence against her. In the end, she takes a plea deal and pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. She is ultimately sentenced to 50 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Crazy story.